Yo, hey guys. As you can see, I dyed my hair black, like I said in my last video. And it's kind of cold outside and my hair's kind of messy, so I'm wearing a appropriate beanie that I got from my friend Miranda. Bad hair, don't care. Uh, so, my throat is a little scratchy because it is cold outside. Um, I don't know where to begin. As you can see by the title of this video, I've decided to give up on a dream of mine that I have held pretty much most of my life. A lot of my life has kind of been pushed towards the acting industry. I live in Southern California. I'm approached by a lot of people. I've been taking acting classes for years. I've been acting for years before I started making YouTube videos. One of the reasons why I made YouTube videos originally was to make skit videos that I would make because I love directing too. But now I am making this video, and it's been one of the toughest things I've ever done. It's probably one of the toughest decisions of my life. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm glad that this is one of the toughest decisions of my life because some people have much, much, much bigger issues around the world, so I'm pretty blessed. But I've been wanting to do acting for years. I have a great passion for it. And I started working in the Hollywood industry right when I turned 18, so exactly 2 years ago, roughly, I started working in the Hollywood industry. And this is not a video to bash Hollywood. This is not, I can make another video for that. I can just, if I want to summarize my acting experiences in Hollywood and what I've learned and kind of already knew about, is that it's an industry about acting that's not about acting. It's so much more complicated. It's who you know, the way you look, and luck. It's a lot of that, a lot of who you know and luck, and it takes usually a good several years to be overnight famous. Like, you see all these overnight famous people, and that was 10 years in the making. It's not overnight. And so I knew within 2 years I wasn't going to get that far. I was going to get somewhere. I did very well within 2 years. I was able to get an agent. I got a top-notch commercial agent. I was with a theatrical agency, and then I ended up being signed with a top 10 management company, and they are like typically the top 5 a lot of the times. And I had a great manager, and I was going out for great stuff, and there's so many things I got super close to and that I didn't get, but I was against people of like great caliber. I met a lot of Disney stars and all that stuff at my audition, so I was on a high on my career. I even booked a feature film with the leads in the film are Bellamy Young from Scandal and Lou Diamond Phillips. And if you don't know who Lou Diamond Phillips is, ask your parents if they know him, because he's mainly our parents' age star. And I have done extremely well. I have got to fly to Japan. I've got to do tons of commercials. I've got to work with really great people, and all of those experiences have been some of the best experiences of my life, and I would not regret any of it. I met my best friend at an audition who is dear to me today. I met most of my good friends from my auditions, and they're still my friends, and I am so blessed to kind of have an opportunity that many girls dream about and many people dream about, that it was like right in my back door. I've had a great opportunity, but it's not for everybody. And even if you're successful and you're super talented and all these things, like, your dream that you may think is cut out for you is not. And that's what I had to realize. There's a couple of reasons why I've decided to quit, and here is why. I'm going to go off an article. This article is not the reason why I quit, but it had 4 good reasons to understand why you should give up your dream. And I think that this is good for anybody to listen to. I read this article the other day, and I'm like, yeah, this is exactly why I had to leave acting. And I'll talk about divine appointment later because I'm a Christian. The website is The Daily Positive, and I'm just going to read off, and it's an article if some of you guys are struggling with wanting to give up a dream or not. This is how you know. Number one out of the 4 things is that the truth is glaring at you and you know it. You have this feeling like, wow, like you might not, this dream might not be what you thought about, and this might not be the direction you want to go anymore, and you want to ignore it, but it's the truth is kind of glaring at you. And if you're not feeling that, not even slightest, continue on with your dream. But for me, with acting, it started back in May, and it's kind of been going on for a long time. The truth started glaring at me that this is not an industry you're going to be in for the rest of your life or for your future. This is not in your future. And it was just hard for me to reject because I was so in love with it. So at the time, back in May, I pushed the thoughts away. Number 2, is your gut feeling that this is the end. And I've had, with my acting experience, like many things, it's things that happen to me don't make me thrive more to want to keep pursuing my dream. It's more like, wow, I feel like that this acting thing is coming to an end. This dream of mine, it's slowly coming to the end, and it could be heartbreaking, it could be like hurting, and it could be very, very difficult. And honestly, it's just like, it makes you very emotional. You get this emotional worry over something that you used to love. And there's something great about staying at something, keep going at it, but you can't keep going at it if it's like giving you these really painful emotional worry and anxiety and depression. This might not be where you need to be. Number 3 is a big one that will confirm 1 and 2, is that your dreams are kind of changing. Me being in the industry, I'm just like, I really love acting, but acting is like 1% of the acting industry, and I don't like going through the 99% of maybe getting to that acting job. It's not almost worth it for me anymore, and my dreams are kind of changing more. As I discovered, I can graduate my college career this December, so I'd be in college for 2.5 years with a bachelor's degree, and if I do acting, that might delay my graduation. I'm moving more towards wanting to get my degree done first and maybe go to acting later, but at the moment I just really want to focus on my degree. And I met the love of my life, and I kind of want to marry him, and how our lives are kind of moving towards each other, it's not going the direction. Acting is kind of pushing away from that direction, and I don't really mind. Does that make sense? It's just like acting's kind of leaving the picture, and I'm slowly, progressively leaving the picture. And number 4 is that your life is like, you're about to fall apart with this dream of yours. And I was getting anxiety. I was becoming more insecure and hating myself and comparing myself and judging. And this dream of mine that used to make me better and thrive and make me positive started making me negative and kind of just destroying my relationship with myself and the relationship around other people. Most of my stress and anxieties and worries had to do with my acting career. And at one point, you have to just stop and think like, is this really doing anything beneficial to my life? Is this really something I should be pursuing? I know this is something I want to do, but is it possible for you? And that was one of the biggest things. And that was the main reason why I was like, everyone goes through hard times and it's great to persevere, but my dreams have changed. I have moved on, and this is not the direction I want to go anymore. And if I keep going in this direction, my life will fall apart. So these are the main reasons why I quit. And there's some divine intervention. I booked this film called The Night Stalker with those 2 leads, this feature film, back in June. And things were kind of falling apart like a month before. I got rejected by my dream agency just because I didn't have enough credits. And then 2 weeks later, I booked this film that would have allowed me to be with this agency, but they didn't want me. And it was just very heartbreaking. And everything just kind of started going downhill. And then when I booked this movie called The Night Stalker, I something, I believe what God told me. He literally spoke to me in my thoughts and in my feelings. He said to me that this is the last job you're gonna book, and you're gonna quit acting in October. And I started weeping like a baby, and I ignored the thoughts because I didn't want to listen to God, and I thought maybe it's just my, let the ring go. As I was saying, like, maybe this thoughts was just my own insecurities, and maybe it's just all in my head. And then it turned out like I had the slowest acting 6 months I've ever had. Few auditions, and I was trying really hard. I thought I was doing well. I wasn't getting callbacks, and it's just kind of like God was right. And all of a sudden in October, and when October comes around, I kind of forgot what God told me, and I was just like, I woke up one morning and I was like, I can't do this acting thing anymore, and you know what? I think I can let go of it. For so long, I thought I couldn't let go of it. I just couldn't get rid of it, and I woke up and I was like, I think I can. And so I did, and that ended up happening. I ended up quitting in October. I quit exactly a year after I signed with my manager. So like an anniversary of being with my manager for a year, I sent him an email saying, I'm sorry, but I need to take a leave of acting. At the moment, I know for certain that I've made the right choice, and it doesn't look like acting will be in my future right now. And I feel happy about it. It's very difficult, and in the future I might make a video about identities. Like, my identity wasn't acting, but it's been 3 weeks now since I made that big decision, and I've been a lot more calm, and a lot of things have kind of become more clear to me, and I'm not as hurt or as emotional about it. In fact, if anything, I'm more relieved. I feel like a great weight has lifted off my shoulders, and I'm not worried about my future anymore. I used to be so worried about my future of acting, and right now I feel like I've totally made the right decision. And a lot of like people around me are just like laughing at me and like thinking like, wow, you made a stupid decision, but I know I made the great decision. And sometimes like other people will judge you about your decisions, but you really know, especially if it's God's will, then you know for certain that this is the right decision. Well, I hope this video wasn't kind of confusing. I try to be very clear, but it's very emotional based, and it's kind of hard to describe. It's not an industry bashing Hollywood, but there's so many things I can say. But you can say that with any profession that like drives you nuts. I love you guys, and I hope to make another video soon. Goodbye. I don't know what that was.